Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we'll understand the concept of order units and order price units in SAP MM, and we'll see what is the difference between these two units with a business scenario. Also, we'll see how various tolerance keys are configured in the system to manage variance between the ordered quantity and the order price quantity. So let's start. So let's understand this concept with an example. Let's say that you require coffee, and as per your storage requirements, you want this supply to happen in 5 kg packets. So your required quantity is 100 packets, that is equivalent to 500 kgs. Now, when you will ask the vendor to quote its price, vendor will quote the price in its own standard unit of measurement. And you can see here, vendor has quoted price on per kg basis. That is, vendor has quoted a price of 100 rupees per kg. So although you require the delivery to happen in 5 kg packets, vendor has quoted price on per kg basis. And the total PO value shall be 100 packets multiplied by 5 kg per packet multiplied by 100 rupees per kg. So the total PO value shall be 50,000 rupees. So you can see here, although you are ordering in packets, vendor is quoting in another unit of measurement, that is on per kg basis. So this unit of measurement, that is packets, is called order unit. That is the unit of measurement in which you are ordering the material. And this unit of measurement, that is kg, is called order price unit. That is the unit in which the vendor is quoting its price. And in this case, you can see both these units are different, and you have a conversion factor of one packet is equal to 5 kgs. So with this example, you can understand that there are certain materials which will be ordered in a particular unit of measurement, and the prices will be quoted in another unit of measurement. The unit of measurement in which the material is ordered is called order unit, and the unit of measurement in which the material is priced or the prices are quoted by the vendor is called order price unit. And whenever you will receive this kind of a material which has different order unit and order price unit, you will have to enter the quantity in both these unit of measurements when you will be posting the GR. Okay. And based on the quantity which is supplied in the order price unit, the value of the GR will be calculated, and the payment which is to be done to the vendor shall be calculated. So now let's see how variances can occur for materials which are managed in two different unit of measurements. So we'll understand by the same example. Let's say that vendor supplied you this 100 packets of coffee. So your GR quantity shall be 100 packets. This translates to 500 kgs of supply of coffee. Now what vendor will do, vendor will have to weigh the coffee and then pack them in 5 kg packets. So it may happen that on weight basis, the quantity which is supplied is not equal to this 500 kg. That is, you will get 100 packets, but the total weight of those 100 packets may not be exactly equal to this 500 kgs. That is equal to the conversion factor which is entered in the purchase order. And this is called quantity variance in case of different order unit and order price unit. So you can see here, you may receive 100 packets, but the quantity on weight terms that you will receive may be 510 kgs on the upper side or 490 kgs on the lower side. So you may receive a quantity on weight basis which is either higher than 500 kgs or lower than 500 kgs. So in both these cases, that is you receive 510 kgs or 490 kgs, the GR value shall be different, and the payment which is to be processed to the vendor will also be different. Why? Because although you are receiving quantity in packets, the payment is to be done on per kg basis only, because the vendor has quoted on per kg basis, and hence in its invoice vendor will mention both these quantities, that is quantity in the order unit and quantity in the order price unit. So vendor will mention 100 packets of quantity in the order unit and 510 kgs in terms of order price unit, or 490 kgs in terms of order price unit, and you will have to make payment based on these quantities and not on this quantity. So whatever conversion factor you have entered in the PO is to calculate the PO value, but to calculate the GR value you must calculate how much quantity in order price unit has been supplied by the vendor. And you can see here, for 510 kg case, your GR value shall be 51,000 and your payment that you have to process to the vendor shall be 51,000. And in case of 490 kgs, your GR value shall be 49,000 and payment shall be for 49,000 rupees. And for these two cases, your inventory will get updated with 100 packets only, but the value of such inventory shall be either 51,000 in this case or 49,000 in this case. So you can see here, although you are creating GR for 100 packets that is equal to the PO quantity, the value that is being posted is based on the weight of those 100 packets that you enter in the Migo screen while posting the goods receipt. And the payment also will be done accordingly. So now let's see what all tolerance keys have been given by SAP to cater to this quantity variance. Now, as we saw earlier, that when you have materials with two different unit of measurements, variances may happen. So you need to have tolerances in the system so that system checks whether you are entering a quantity in the order price unit too high or too low. So this will prevent a higher posting of GR value or a lower posting of GR value. And this will also prevent if someone makes mistake while doing the GR, then also the user will come to know that what conversion factor is there in the PO and what conversion factor he is entering while doing the GR. So as we have seen, we have the order quantity of 100 packets, which is equivalent to 500 kgs. Now the variances can occur on both the sides. That is, the vendor can supply you a quantity higher than 500 kgs or lower than 500 kgs. So on both the sides, system has given two tolerance keys, that is B1 and B2. The tolerance key B1 is to issue the error message. That is, if you enter a quantity which is higher than this limit or lower than this limit, then system will give you error message. So as we have discussed that when you will be doing GR for any material which has different order unit and order price unit, you will have to enter quantities in both the units while doing the GR. So system will check what quantities in order price unit and order unit you are entering in the Migo screen and what is the conversion factor which is there in the PO. And based on that, system will calculate the variance and then will check against these tolerance keys. So if you are entering a GR quantity which is higher than this limit or lower than this limit, then system will give you error message and system will not allow you to post the GR. Now, if you are entering a quantity which is lying between these two limits, that is between B1 and B2, then system will give you warning. That is, if you are entering a quantity above this range or below this range, up to this range on the higher side and this range on the lower side, system will give you warning message. And between these two limits, system will not give you any message and system will allow you to post the GR. Let's understand this with an example. Let's say that you have entered tolerance limit B1 as 50% on both the sides and B2 as 20% on both the sides. So if you're entering a GR quantity between 400 kgs and 600 kgs, system will not issue any message and system will allow you to post the GR. And if you're entering the quantity above 750 kgs or below 250 kgs, then system will give you error message. So you can see here the 600 or 400 has been calculated based on this 20% tolerance, and this 750 and 250 is calculated based on this tolerance limit of 50%. So you can see here both these tolerances B1 and B2 work on both the sides, that is on higher side and on the lower side, and up to this B2 tolerance you will not get any message. Above B2 and up to B1 you will get warning message, and above B1 you will get error message. Similarly, on the other side also, below B2 up to B1 you will get warning message, and below B1 you will get error message. We'll see in SAP how we enter both these quantities, that is the quantity in order units and the quantity in order price units, and how system calculates the ratio, compares it with the ratio which is there in the PO, and then issues warning or error message as per the tolerance key that we maintain in the system. So now you can see on the screen, these are some examples in real world scenario where you have materials with different order unit and different order price unit. You can see here you have these order units and these order price units, and these are the common conversions that are used for all these kind of materials. You will have to enter both these units in the purchase order, and then you will have to enter quantities in both the units when you will be doing the GR. Based on the tolerance keys, system will issue you warning or error message, and whatever quantity you post in this particular unit, system will calculate the GR value on the basis of this unit because the prices are quoted in this order price unit. and the payment to the vendor will also be done based on the quantity which you enter in this unit only in the Migo screen while doing the goods receipt. So now let's move on to SAP and see everything in action. So first of all, we'll create the material code. So we'll go to T code MM01. We'll select the industry and the material type and we'll press enter. We'll select basic data 1, purchasing, general plant data, storage 1 and accounting 1. We'll press enter. We'll enter the plant and the storage location. We'll enter the description of the material, which is coffee, and we'll enter the base unit of measurement as pack here, because we are going to order this material in packets and we are going to store this material also in packets. So we'll enter PAC here. We'll enter the material group. Now we are going to enter the order price unit as kg, so we can maintain the conversion factor in the material master. So to maintain the conversion, we'll have to click on additional data. We'll go to unit of measure and you can see here, this is our base unit of measurement. To enter an alternate unit of measurement, we have to enter here. So we'll enter 5 kgs here and we'll press enter. So you can see we have entered the conversion as 5 kg is equal to 1 packet, and we'll go to the main data. We'll press enter and we'll save this material code. So you can see our material code has been created. We have entered the conversion factor also in this material master. Now let's create the purchase order. So we'll go to T code ME21N. We'll enter the supplier here. We'll enter the material code that we just created and we'll press enter. We'll enter the company code and we'll enter the plant here. So now you can see we have two columns here. One is called order unit and another one is the order price unit. In both these fields, system has defaulted the unit of measurement from the material master. That is, we entered the base unit of measurement as packets in the material master. So system has defaulted that unit of measurement in the order unit and in the order price unit. So in our current case, our order price unit is in kgs. So we'll have to enter that unit of measurement manually here. So you can see here, this column is for order price unit. So we'll enter kgs here and we'll press enter. And here we have to enter our PO quantity. Now we are ordering 100 packets, so we'll enter 100 here. So you can see here we have entered this material code with order unit as packets and order price unit as kg. And you can see in the conditions tab also your gross price is coming in per kg basis. And here you can see the ratio is shown, that is 1 packet is equal to 5 kgs. So let's enter the unit price per kg here. So we'll enter 1000 rupees per kg and we'll press enter. And again, if you go to item detail, you can see the total value that system calculates is 5 lakh rupees. That is 1000 rupees per kg multiplied by 5 kg per packet multiplied by 100 packets. So total amount for this PO is 5 lakh rupees. So now let's save this purchase order. So now our PO is created. We'll do the goods receipt. So we'll go to MyGo. We'll select goods receipt against purchase order. We'll enter movement type as 101 and we'll enter the PO number that we created just now. And we'll press enter. Now if we go to the quantity tab, you can see a separate field has come up for entering the quantity in PO price unit. And here the unit of measurement is kg. So whenever you will be posting GR against a PO line item where the order unit and order price unit are different, you will have to enter the quantity in the Migo screen in both these units while posting the GR. That is, you have to enter the quantity supplied in packets here and the quantity supplied in kgs here. And whatever quantity in kgs you enter here, system will calculate whether there is any variance and then will match with the tolerance keys that you have entered in the system. So now let's first verify the tolerance keys that have been configured, and then we'll come back to this Migo screen and then try to enter different quantities in this field and see how system generates warning and error message. So let's go to SPRO first. We'll go to SAP reference IMG, materials management, inventory management and physical inventory, goods receipt, and here you can see you have the link for set tolerance limits. So we'll execute this. We'll enter our company code here and we'll press enter. So you can see these are the two tolerance keys that have been provided by SAP. to trigger the error and the warning message. So you can see here the tolerance key B1 is for error message and the tolerance key B2 is for the warning message. And if I double click here, you can see we can define both the lower limit and the upper limit. So you can see here our tolerance key B1 that we defined is 50%, which is configured here. And you can see for both the sides you can have different tolerance limits. As we saw earlier that this B1 on the upper side and B1 on the lower side, you can have different tolerance limits. In the current case, we have entered 50% on both the sides, but you can have different tolerance limit on the upper and the lower side for triggering the error message. So you can see here our upper and lower limit is 50%, and if we enter a quantity which is above this tolerance in the Migo screen, system will give me error message. Now let's go back and we'll see this tolerance key B2. So again you see here we have the lower limit and upper limit, and 20% has been entered in both the sides. So system will check limit up to 20%, and beyond this system will give the warning message. As we saw earlier that these tolerance keys B2 on both the sides is for generating warning message, and this B2 has been configured as 20%. So from 20% to 50% system will give warning message, beyond 50% system will give error message, and this side also from 20 to 50% system will give warning, and below B1 that is 50% system will give the error message. So you can see here this is the configuration for both these tolerance keys that is done here. So now let's again go back to our Migo screen and enter various quantities and see how system triggers the warning and the error message. So you can see here we are entering the GR for 100 packets. As per the conversion ratio in the PO, these 100 packets should be equivalent to 500 kgs. But let's enter a different quantity here and see how system triggers the warning or error message. So you can see here for warning we have these two limits, that is 400 kgs and 600 kgs. So let's enter 601 kgs here. We'll enter the storage location and we'll click on check. So you can see system gives me a warning message telling me that order price quantity exceeded by more than 20%. That is, our order quantity is 100 packets, which is equivalent to 500 kgs. We are entering GR for 100 packets, so we should have entered 500 kgs here, but we are entering 601, which is more than 20% from 500 kgs. And as per this configuration of tolerance key B2, which we entered as 20%, system is giving me this warning message. You can see the tolerance key here. The B2 is configured as 20%, and system is checking the upper limit this time, which is 20%, and system is giving this warning message here. You can see. Now let's enter a quantity less than 400 also. So we'll enter 399 here and we'll click on check. And again you can see system gives me a warning message, and this time system mentions that shortfall below order price quantity amounting to more than 20%. So you can see here this shortfall quantity we are entering below 400, so system is generating the warning message. Now let's enter quantities above 750 and below 250 and see how system generates the error message. So we'll again go to the Migo screen. Let's enter 751 here and let's click on check. So now you can see system gives me an error message, and system tells me that order price quantity exceeded by more than 50%. And you can see here because of this tolerance key B1, system is giving me error message that you cannot post this GR because you are entering a quantity which is more than 750. Ideally your quantity in kgs should have been 500. You are entering a quantity more than 500, but you are allowed to enter only up to 750, and if you enter a quantity beyond 750, system will give the error message, and this is because we have configured B1 tolerance key as 50%. You can see here, if we again go back to the configuration, if we go back and double click on B1, you can see for upper limit the tolerance is 50%, and hence we are getting this error message. Now let's enter a quantity which is below 250. So let's enter 249 here and let's click on check again. So you can see this time system gives me a message telling me that shortfall below order price quantity amounting to more than 50%. So again, this tolerance 2 is triggered on the lower side that we have configured here. Let's go to the configuration. We have configured here 50% on the lower side, and system is giving me the error message as per this diagram here. You can see below 250 also I'll get the error message. So we have understood how these tolerance keys work. Now let's see if we post a quantity within this limit, that is within B1 or within B1 and B2, how system calculates the GR value and the inventory value. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll enter the quantity within the B2 tolerance, that is within this range. So let's enter 510 here. So we'll enter 510 kgs and we'll click on check. So you can see now system is neither giving me a warning nor an error message. So between these two limits, that is 400 and 600, I will not get any message. And this is because my B2 tolerance key is 20%. So now what we are doing, we are posting GR for 100 packets. So we are fulfilling the PO order quantity, but we are entering the quantity in kgs as 510. Now on which quantity the vendor is to be paid? Vendor is to be paid on this quantity and not on this quantity. So system will calculate the GR value based on this quantity only. So let's post this GR and then see how system calculates the GR value. So we'll post this GR. So you can see our GR has been posted. Now let's display this document first. And if we go to document info and click on FI documents, if we double click on accounting document, you can see system calculated the GR value as 5,10,000. Although our PO value is 5 lakh rupees and we entered 100 packets only while doing the GR. But since we entered 510 kgs in the order price unit field, system calculated the GR value based on this field and system posted the same amount in the GRIR account also, and the payment will be done based on this value and not on the PO value, that was 5 lakh rupees. So if we open the purchase order now, we'll go to ME23N. If we go to the status tab, you can see system shows you that the order quantity was 100 packets, the delivered quantity is 100 packets only, but the ordered value was 5 lakh rupees, but delivered value is 5 lakh and 10,000 rupees. And this is because when you were doing the goods receipt, you entered the quantity in kgs as 510. Okay, if we go to the purchase order history, here also you can see our GR value is shown. If we open this material document and if we go to the quantity tab, you can see we had entered quantity in PO price unit as 510 kgs and hence system calculated amount in local currency as 5,10,000 rupees. And if we go to our inventory report also, let's open MB52. Let's enter the material code and the plant here. And if we execute, you can see the inventory value also is updated with this value, that is 5,10,000 rupees. So in this way, we understood how entering quantity in order price unit changes your GR value, inventory value, and the payment value against your purchase order. If we process the invoice through Myro, let's see that also. If we go to Myro, let's enter an invoice date here. Invoice reference. We'll enter the purchase order number here and we'll press enter. So you can see system proposes an invoice of 5,10,000. So our PO quantity was 5 lakh. Our order quantity was 100 packets only. Our invoice quantity is also 100 packets as you can see here. But the invoice value is 5,10,000 because we entered 510 kgs in the order price unit field while doing the GR. And this is the amount which is payable to the vendor. In its invoice also, vendor will enter this amount only. Vendor will enter both the quantities, the quantity in packets and quantity in kgs. And when you process the GR and then process the invoice, you will have to process payment for this amount only. Now let's see one more thing. If you open the purchase order, let's open the PO. You can see if you go to the quantity or weights tab, this conversion ratio is copied from the material master. So if you have a conversion ratio entered in the material master, system will default this ratio here. You can change this ratio in the PO also. System will calculate the variance based on the conversion ratio which is there in the purchase order. Okay, so even if you do not have the conversion ratio in the material master, you can enter the conversion ratio in the PO line also manually. So in this way, we have understood how we can enter different order unit and order price unit in the PO line item, and how we can process the GR. While doing the GR, we'll have to enter quantity in both these units, that is in the order unit and in the order price unit. System will check whether any variance is there as per the conversion ratio which is in the purchase order and the conversion ratio which you are entering in the MIGO screen, and will check against the tolerance keys that we have configured in the system. For warning, the tolerance key is B2, which currently we have configured as 20% on both the sides. For error, we have tolerance key B1, which we have configured as 50% on both the sides in the configuration. And based on these tolerance keys, system will generate you warning or error message when you enter quantity either higher or lower than the calculated quantity from the PO line item. So I hope that you've understood this concept, and I hope that you've liked this video. If you like my videos, then please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be putting more content on SAP MM on this channel. See you in the next video with another topic on SAP MM. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thanks a lot.